gotta check the levels. You can never be too sure what's gonna be happening at some levels. You gotta make sure the levels are okay. Hey guys, good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the show. If you don't know who I am, my name is James True. I run a live stream here. It's very regular, despite what you might think. It's always come out. If you've missed the last few days, you need to check your local cable provider because. Okay, so that's not going to work. But yeah, it's good to be here. It's great to be here. Actually, I have missed doing the show. I have. It probably doesn't seem that way. It's funny because people are like, "Hey, James, I hope that you're enjoying your break from the live stream." And break is not. It's not the word. I am a writer. I'm a writer by trade. I can prove it. I have 5 books now. I've just finished my 5th book, and I'm pretty excited about that. I'm pretty excited. But I'm even more excited to be back. And it looks like, how dare you, Nate? It looks like the chat is working. Is it true now? Can I actually chat to all channels? Testing from the captain's chair. Let's see if that actually works. That would be great. If I could watch everyone's chat in one window, it would be a much better show. Haha, Reba is getting close to getting her red squirrel friend back on her shoulder, so that's good. I've missed you guys too. Amel, it's great to see you. Thanks for being here. It's great to see you. Spacey, I know you're on your way into Babylon, so good luck with that. And hi, Gaia Bear. It's good to see you. Oh, that's awesome, Stacy. Even my 11-year-old is happy to hear you on the TV. He just said he's back. I'm back, at least for a little bit. Business, episode 100. Episode 100 of the Wayfarer Cult. This was the episode where I told you guys why Wayfarer was a complete hack. While the entire Wayfarer cult was introduced to you as a part of the salacious nature of stories. In fact, I even went into one Sarah Ruth Ashcraft. Okay, now this episode will probably also get X for that. It's not even her real name. This is what's so insane about censorship is it's not even real name. Guys, our problem is bunking. None of us are bunking anything. All we do is debunk things. We don't bunk things, we debunk them. All right? And when you debunk something, it means that you are pretending that it's real. It means that you think the thing was real the entire time. And that is what's getting us into so much trouble. And one of the reasons why, one of the ways that I showed you guys how dangerous bunking is by exposing the lie that is this person. This person is not a real name. This person has no real ties in the world. She's created a persona of herself. She's called herself SRA, a satanic ritual abuse survivor. And she's made a living out of it. She's made a living telling you how much she's been abused. And of course, anyone with T-Rex arms, anyone who has the empathy of a T-Rex is going to extend that belief to her, as we all do. They're going to, we whore out our belief. We put our whore out on the street. If you're 11-year-old, sorry I just said that. But that's what we do. We have no respect for our belief. We believe anything. We're just like, oh, who are you? I'll believe you. I'll believe you. I'll believe you. Hey, what you got? I'll believe that too. I'll believe that too. And we don't realize that when you only have 25 trillion blood cells, that's all you have. You might, oh, that's a lot. They go fast. They go fast. Just like yeast. Yeah. Just like yeast. Your red blood cells hold willpower. You take your will and you put them inside of red blood cells. It's true. When blood enters your heart chamber, your heart charges it. It takes the bellows of your lungs, right? And it blows willpower into the bellows of the lungs and infuses your blood cells with will. Strategic will. Now, will isn't like a thought. Will isn't like, make sure my mic's on, but will isn't like a thought. It's nothing that you have to like consider or think about. In other words, you can't change will once it's been released. I'm talking about once it's been shot out of your gun, okay? Think about will like a bullet. You're not going to be able to steer that bullet after it leaves your gun, right? You're not going to be able to steer that. It is something that once it's fired, it's a vector. I'd like you to think about a bullet as a vector. A vector is simply a direction that you're aiming. A vector is a direction. It's not a location. It's a direction. And will is vector. If you have a will to drink some water, you have a vector for that. You're now in a direction. And if you could pinch off that will, if you could separate that will from you, you would have separated a vector for water. And water's good. Yeah, a vector for water. And you could separate that willpower. You would have an etheric vector for water, a non-body, a non-corporeal, electromagnetic vector. We talk about the 7-dimensional electricity. All right, we talk about this. This is the schizophrenic. This is the demon, one who sees demons. This is one who hears voices. This is one who, guys, even cross-eyed people, people with ocular blah, 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 have been known to have a higher cases of schizophrenic, of seeing things that others don't see. What if they could see vectored will? What if shamans see vectored will? What Rachel's like, James, they do see vectored will. Why are you saying what if? But I'm trying to catch everybody up, Rachel. It's just how it works, you know. We got to take our time here. We got to take our time here. So it's a vectored will. And you can take that vectored will and use it as a force. In fact, I would argue with you that if you were to look at Zionism itself, you're looking at the unbridled vectored will of guilt and shame amalgamated into a living creature. It's put into this creature. That creature we'll call Babylon, we'll call it the beast, we'll call it whatever, but it's not just one creature. And the reason why you can't see it, the reason why some of us struggle to see it, I should say, the reason why so many of us struggle to see this is because we are not embracing reality fully. I'm talking about the animism of it all. I'm not talking about your aperture right now. I'd like to talk about the animism of it. Just your belief in animism is what's missing. Animism. The attribution of a soul to plants, inanimate objects, and natural phenomena. The belief in a supernatural power that organizes and animates the material universe. A village steeped in ancient animism and rituals. See, this definition is wrong. Yeah, it's actually wrong. But it's what you get when you ask the Babylon, hey, Babylon, can you tell me about this? And they're like, sure, I can tell you all about that. Let me give you the Wikipedia definition right here. Right? And the reason why it's missing is because a village steeped in ancient animism and ritual. No. A village is not steeped in it. The village is it. The village is it. In fact, for them to say soul, the attribution of a soul to plants, inanimate objects, and natural phenomenon. I'll take soul. You guys will rarely find me use the word soul. The reason why I don't use the word soul is because the moment you tell me that you have a soul is the moment that you tell me that you have something that's not a soul. It's true. You're creating this this tangible matter that has to be there, that has a soul inside of it somehow. It's like the soul of racism is in that bronze statue, and we must tear down that bronze. And if we tear it down enough, and if we smash it enough, the air pocket inside, all the racism is inside there. Yeah, the soul of that bronze statue is racist. And that's why we got to take it down. So if you chop the head off, you let the soul out, see? Yeah, you take like a leaf blower. You stick it in that hole. You turn it on for a minute. Now the statue's not racist anymore. In fact, if you were to get some gay guys to put their... Yeah, then you could like infuse it with like gay pride. You could do it. You could infuse it with all... This is how it works with souls. See, you take a little potpourri, you take your whole thing, you put it in the statue, then you do the statue, put the head back on, and now it's got a better soul. See, this is retarded. And the reason why it's retarded is because we end up evacuating the entire world. We've evacuated everything we see. That's not alive, that's not alive, that's not alive, that's not. The Catholics have a hierarchical order to what they consider life. It's like your dog, sorry, your dog's not alive. Your cat, no. No. Gerbils, no. Hamster, no. Snake, no. Right? And when you live your life that way, you end up an imbecile. You end up arguing with people over what has a soul. It's like, well, that doesn't have a soul. And you end up in this Cartesian, this Rene Descartes world that everything can be snipped away with a scalpel and that nothing matters. Because no, it's the soul's not there. Don't worry. You're fine. You could test on that animal. It doesn't have a soul. Right? You can kill that man because it doesn't have a soul. As long as you can cut his arms off because his arms don't have a soul. You can cut his legs off. His legs don't have a soul. His soul will move back really quick into his chest and he'll be fine. So you haven't killed anyone yet. And that is the only way that we will ever get through life, through materialism. This materialism, which is Medusa, right? Medusa looks at the world and turns it to stone. You look at the world and turn it to stone when you believe these people, when you buy into this shit. That's why we need animism. We need the idea that, no, the village is not steeped in animism. The village is animism. The village is alive. And it's not just the people. It's the buildings, it's the streets, it's the structures. It's you should bring that up grievances, Josh. Sounds like a boring topic though, but you should bring that up at grievance. It's alive. We see it. But we can't see it because we pretend it's not real. In fact, we can't see it because we would rather change the subject and talk about other people. We talk about trivia. We'll do anything else but discuss like real shit. Like true, real stuff. That our cities are alive. That they're thriving. That you were looking at an artery. There's an artery and there's a vein of Babylon. The artery's going into the city. The vein's coming out. And it's feeding, it's oxygenating the city with nutrients and sleep from home that's being brought into the city and left. And the same thing's happening from the city, right? Mom and dad are going into the city. They're pulling nutrients. They're being oxygenated from the bellows of the city. The bellows of the city are breathing life into these people and sending them home. Say, go home now. Go to your home. Drop off this oxygen. Drop off these energy pellets. Drop off this currency into your home. And little boxes full of ticky-tacky, right? Is cells. Your cell membranes is aluminum siding. Your cell membrane is a 30-year roof. Your hemoglobin got through your veins that pulls the oxygen and drops it off. It picks up the oxygen, it drops it off. It picks up the oxygen, it drops it off. Is a fucking car. And just like hemoglobin, the very, very, very first hemoglobin that binds with an oxygen is hard. It's hard for the hemoglobin to bind with that. But the second is super easy. The third, super easy. The fourth, super easy. The fifth is hard. And how is that not a car? How is that not? The very, very first guy that needs a ride is hard. He's going to have to get a car. And he's going to have to convince that hemoglobin to let him inside. He's going to have to steer that hemoglobin. But if someone else runs a ride, it's no problem. He's already got the car. So he binds with the next hemoglobin. He binds with the next oxygen, I should say. And the next oxygen, and the next oxygen. And inside that hemoglobin is a little iron finger. It's an iron finger. Like a little hook. And the oxygen comes and sits on that hook. And that car goes to work. It goes through the city. It goes through the tunnels. It goes through parking. And there's only a certain spot where that hook is going to go bloop, and it's going to let that oxygen go. There's only going to be one spot, and that's going to be that guy's job, where he works. And do you understand that on your way to work, the man on his way to work inside the hemoglobin isn't really alive. He's a vectored will. His willpower is vectored to take him to work and drop him off, and nothing else really matters in between. He's living in this stasis now. The reason why is because he's a part of a much larger system. It's a much, much larger system that's running through him, around him, and inside of him. But because it's so large, he can't see it. He's not able to understand that it's alive. In fact, he's in denial that it's alive. He will call himself alive and imply that everything else is not. Hey, Josh, happy travels to you, buddy. Enjoy Arkansas. This, when you start to look at life like this, you can start to see the animism come out. And this is important. This is important. It's important that you start to embrace the animism at all, because the Ring of Solomon, the Ring of Sulameh, Solomon with that ring was able to command all demons. What are demons? They are vectored will. Willpower on a vector. I am water. I'm thirsty. I am looking for credits from my job to buy bananas for my kids, right? I am looking for soccer practice, right? I am looking to take my family to Arkansas. These are all vectors, which means that they are willpower that's been assigned. And I would argue with you that just like the red blood cell doesn't understand who you are, it doesn't know your name. It doesn't know that when it came into the chambers of the heart, this beautiful cathedral, this beautiful cathedral, that when they got their chance, I get to go into the cathedral. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. I wonder what the cathedral's going to tell me. I wonder what the cathedral's going to tell me today at church. That red blood cell goes, the vein takes it right into the first chamber. Oh, the antechamber. And it blesses him, cleans him, cleanses him, baptizes him, ready for his message. Yeah. And that red blood cell goes into the second chamber, and he receives that message. He receives it. And he's sent off with his tidings, with his new will. And that's what happens when we go to work. It's what happens when we get up. We receive our message, and we follow that. And the entire time, that red blood cell has no concept of who you are. It has no idea you're watching James Truth's live stream. It has no idea that the dude who's on that live stream just finished his 5th fucking book. Oh, no idea. None of that even matters, because it has its own will vector that it's trying to follow. Now, this Ring of Solomon, the Sulameh, is personification. It is animism. It is animism. This is the Ring of Solomon, is animism, guys. It's true. And that you can tangibly control and shape will, a vectored will, as long as you understand how to personify it. And what does Solomon do? He can summon or banish or exorcise any demon he wants. And he only does this because he can summon them. He has the ring. And how do you summon something? The very, very, very first thing you have to do before you summon someone is you have to believe they are summonable. And if they are summonable, that means you can say something, you can speak to them, and they will reply. You believe that they have life. You believe that that vectored will can be communicated with. And by you believing in that vectored will, this is why belief is so important. This is why knowing is so not important, and why belief is everything. It's because that is how you establish that tentacle. Yeah. I don't like this word, but it's true. I don't like this word, but it's true. That tentacle, that plasma of energy, has that little iron hook, that iron on it. It goes, and it locks onto something. Whether it be someone you love, whether it be someone you hate, whether it be someone you're concerned about, whether it be someone that you can't get out of your mind. That we establish these chronicles the Chronicles of Narnia. It's anyway. We establish these connections, that they're asynchronous, and that you can manipulate vectored will by doing this. And you see it all the time. Some of you will walk into a store and you will meet someone that is vectored will. They're evacuated themselves. Someone who's evacuated themselves to a procedure is vectored will. They're not a person. They're vectored will now. And you manipulate them easily because they're vectored will. And the first thing you do is you summon them. Excuse me, I'm not going to wear that mask. You tell them who you are. I'm someone who's not going to wear a mask. And it keeps going. So this is fantastic. Josh Evans, first you want me to tell you about Owen, and now you want me to tell me that my ex-wife sends her regards. You tell my ex-wife that I hope she's well. You tell my ex-wife that she and I had a wonderful time together, and that I think that the reason why 55% of all divorces end is because of vitriol. I think we're here to crack each other open. I think that we need to understand that this is part of Dojo Earth. And that the last thing we want is to go around sharing with each other how successful we are all the time. That sounds like what a douchebag would do. But if you can hold on to that thought, Josh, if you can keep that thought until grievance time, then we can talk about it. I mean, I'll be happy to talk about anything. A guy the other day was like, so Andy Kaufman is like totally hitting on your girlfriend. He's like stuffing her right now or whatever. And I was like, yeah, he probably is. How does that affect? Well, that must mean you suck, as he says. Well, no, I think it means that she likes him more than me. That doesn't mean I suck. Guys, some people are going to like it, some people aren't. My ex-wife doesn't like me right now. She didn't like me for a while. She's officially not liked me more than she liked me. Like if you add up the number of years that she liked me versus not like me, it's more not like. But that's both prana. That woman liked me so much that she wanted me to be her husband. So we could pretend that means that she really hates me, because I don't even know, because I haven't even talked to her. But the point is that to like and to hate someone is to have a pranic charge. You are still pranically charged to that person. What you want is apathy, Josh. Josh, you want apathy. And you don't have that because you're in here in the chat trying to say that, no, it's because you're not. It's because you're not worthy of my attention, James, which is why I'm giving you my attention. You're not worthy of my worship, James, which is why I'm worshiping you right now by trying to tell you these things. And it's beautiful because all it does is give me an opportunity to go, yes, I had a divorce. I was married once and we were divorced. Boom. And now we create this whole psychodrama around it. Why? Because we don't want to talk about animism, right? The reason why is because this is not comfortable. I do not like to think about deep things. Can we just talk about stupid stuff? And of course it takes us away. But it's kind of supposed to, because a lot of us don't want to look at this stuff anyway. We don't even want to imagine it. So yeah, guys, I have a tumultuous love life, if you want to call it that. 10 years ago, I was married once and got a divorce. Shocker. Fucking shocker. It was in my first book. I'm on book 5 now, right? I have had sex with women since my ex-wife. Pretty choice. Yep. One of those women was just a few months ago. Yeah. It was great. That woman is not with me now. She does not like me that way. That's okay. It's all of us are fine. I will have sex again. It could be this month. It could be. I don't know what's going to happen. There are a lot of people coming here. One of them may decide to want to have sex with me, and I may decide to have sex with him. And Josh, we will tell you. I want to clear up that this is not Josh Reisman we're talking about. He's with his family doing a wonderful trip right now. It's the other, yeah. It's as Jed says, Josh wants to do what James does. It's that Josh. And Josh, I will send you pictures. I won't, because I'll need to talk to her about that. I'll have to talk about her about that. I don't think balding has anything to do with it, Christopher, because she actually liked both of us, and both of us are bald. So I don't know if the bald really has anything to do with it. No, he's not married, James M. But we were getting way off track. We're actually talking about animism right now. This is what Josh does to us when we let that kind of stuff around. So the animism is it's not going away. We can pretend it's going away, but it's not. And this is why I think you could do Jedi mind tricks. This is why you can do these are not the droids you're looking for. I think you can pull that stuff off because you're dealing with vectored will. That's all. It's the weakest thing there is. This is why I talk about how demons cannot actually have conversations with you. I know that we think they do, and we write about how they do, but I think that most of the time when you're dealing with someone that is talking to a demon, they want to talk to that demon. There is a personification there that they're having with them. They're having an exchange with themselves. They need that hook, that plasma hook, to put a face on. And if they can put a face on that, they can have a conversation. And I would encourage that. I think that's important. Because I think the ability to personify something is the ability to give it respect, to give it reverence, to give it veneration. And when we can do this to trees, to rivers, to traffic, to Babylon, we can enter into a relationship with these things and change them around. Yes, change them around. I'm talking about having conversations with your trees. I'm talking about having conversations with nature itself, with the wind. It's we don't talk to these kind of things. We can't even find a way to interact with them. This chat is sucking, guys. Sorry, I know, but wow. Do we want to just go here? We can talk about love life. We can do that. We could have a whole day on love life. I'm not going to be able to give you a lot of fun stuff, though. I've been working on a book. I'm busy. I think animism is much more fascinating. A woman that feels shitty about herself would sleep with you. Oh, thanks, Aphrodite. Maybe you're not talking to me. I don't know. But I don't even know why we're here in chat doing this stuff. Animism, please. Thanks, Woodrose. I'll move on. So, where are you? Like, where are you? Like, are you living in a world that has no life? Are you living in a world that has certain things that aren't alive? Because the soil is alive. And if the soil is alive, that means things that pulled out of the soil are alive. Metal is pulled out of the soil. We pull metal out of the mountain. Right? Which means it's alive. Which means that when we see trains, we're looking at something that's alive. But we won't see it as alive because it moves too slow. Right now, our criteria for life is something that has preference, prejudice. Yeah, I would say that if you want to know what an average human considers life, it's prejudice. If someone can watch or interact with prejudice, interacting on something, they will call it alive. This is why they say rocks are not alive. Has it ever occurred to you that maybe a rock is just fine? That a rock could be a living life, but it has nothing to say, and it's fine. If you're going to rain on it, it's fine. It's like, I don't mind. If it's going to get cold, it's like, fine. If you're going to drive your car over it, it's like, fine. If you're going to pulverize it, it's like, I'm fine. But because it's always fine and because it never has anything to say, we never see that as a living thing. We don't process that as alive because we've given criteria, which basically comes down to, unless you complain, you're not alive. And we painted the whole world with that brush. We've said the entire world is not alive unless it complains, unless it has prejudice. In fact, if you want to look at the social structure, the fight against the war prejudice is a fight against you. against you because the very, very essence of who you are is a prejudicial life. You have prejudice. That's what makes you alive. They curse that prejudice in you because that is what makes you alive. And when I say they, we're in a different realm here because I have the electricity to not be in victimhood. When I say they, I understand that, guys, they are not enslaving us. They are not establishing an agenda for us. They are not sculpting and shaping where we go. I know it looks like that. I realize that. And in some ways it is, but it's only in those ways by the people that believe that they are shaping it, because that's the belief. Because the truth is that Donald Trump was not born wanting a wall. At no point in his time did he think, I really want to build a wall, that'd be great. That was never his thing. That he doesn't pick the wall, the people pick. The people have their own vectored will. They have their own vectored will. Immigration moves them. And because immigration moves them, Trump knows that the wall is the way to be in front. It's the surfer. It's a lot like arguing that a surfer controls the wave. And he does not. He does not. That surfer picks his wave. And you might think, no, he shapes it all, but he doesn't. All he does is change the way he rides that wave. That wave is what? Vectored will. A wave is vectored will. And a good surfer rides it. He knows which will to choose, right? He knows which time to take. He knows where to go. And that's what makes him a magi. This is why I've always said that magic is more about alignment. A lot of us think that magic is about will, but no, it's about alignment. Because if you can align yourself, you can sway that will. You're not going to be able to inject or fight will with will. All you can do is take the will that's already there and just bend it. You can bend it. And you can bend it by making it expensive or affordable based on how it feels to you. You're giving it gravity or you're taking it away. Gravity's love here, by the way. You're giving it gravity, you're taking it away. You're giving it worship or you're taking it away. You're giving it witness or you're taking it away. Now, you give this love, this gravity, in two ways. I love you and I hate you. It's the same kind of gravity. It's the same. It's the same. And that's why you have people in the chat that are talking shit, because they're still giving us the gravity. They still want us to have the gravity. And this is what I mean by we don't know that we're alive. Because even a person thinks, I hate James True. I'm going to talk about his ex-wife and about Andy and blah, 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 blah. And I'm going to do this and that. And the whole time in his mind, he's like, I'm not worshiping this. I'm not into this at all. But every calorie, every vector of his will is being sent down its channel, out of its box, downtown to thrive, because it has one vector will to type shit in this chat. In a chat that all it does is help. It's part of the animism, though. You lose yourself to your procedure, which means you become vectored will. You no longer have volition anymore. You're now following. This is what addiction is, isn't it? This is what evacuation is. This is what addiction is. This is what it's like when people are like, I don't know why I was doing what I was doing. It's because they didn't know the vectored will that was running inside them. And how they didn't know that is part of what we're here to do. We're here to awaken. It's not that they put us to sleep. No. We were born in dormancy and we had to rise up out of it. We had to awaken. We had to illuminate ourselves. And you're never going to see animism. You're never, Jeff, really good point, Jeff Schneider too. You're never going to see animism while you're believing things like coincidence, while you're dismissing things like coincidence, I should say. You're never going to be able to believe or understand how this works, because these are subtle energies. Guys, it's in the name, subtle. The word subtle tells you this is going to be subtle. And each of us are waiting for it to knock. And go, hi, I'm the animated spirit of this forest. My name's Shug Knight. Yeah, and I'm the animated spirit of this forest. Here's my menu of things that you can talk to me about or not. It doesn't work that way. In fact, the reason why it doesn't work that way is because it's requiring your simulation. Animism is a relationship you have. When you have a relationship with a tree, you have to simulate that life of the tree for it. You are doing it a favor. Why? Because you are a next level Buddha. That tree doesn't have the simulating power at its disposal as you do. That tree has other powers. Don't get me wrong. Don't start getting an argument about who's going to win, a tree or a man. I'm telling you that a man has more simulating powers. And who's going to be more apt to have that conversation? It's no different than a child and an adult man having a conversation. What's more appropriate? That the child build himself a stepladder so he can rise up, or is it just easier for the man to get down on his knees to have a conversation with the child? And that we are the blue whales of the land, right? We're the walking geniuses of this place. I know, it's funny, but we are. We have all that plasma available to animate, to finish the painting by rendering the personality that we know is already there. But we lack that faith. We lack that ability. And this is actually blindsight. Scientific, proven science that shows that if you do not have an eye, you can still see. Look it up, blindsight. That if you do not have an eye, you can still see. Not only can you see, but you can interpret emotion. Emotion. I can show you a photograph with an emotion. And even though you don't have an eye, you can still detect that that emotion is sad or angry or happy. How the fuck does that work without eyes? And I'm here to suggest to you that simulation is a sonar. It's an empathy sonar. Your ability to simulate mixes with your adrenals, mixes with your endocrine system, and acts like that biological antenna that's able to send a ping, a signal out. Ooh, like fucking Aquaman, except for in dry land. And you're not wearing tights. And this Aquaman signal that you send out is able to not only simulate, but it's able to plasmatically animate what that person, what that creature, what that city, what that state, what that traffic, what that human, what that conglomerate, what that vectored will is doing. And you begin to see the structure of Babylon. Babylon. Concrete. And you look underneath the concrete, you look in the concrete, and you see that these are blood vessels. These are blood vessels. Those hemoglobin. These are amino acids. Right? First the hemoglobin goes by, then the amino acids come out. Then they come out. They start interacting. And you'll never know this because you'll never have the conversation with that. You'll never be able to animate that for them because you've been told the whole time it's not real. And you're not willing to even extend that. You're not willing to stoop down and have the conversation. And this is why Babylon's so big. This is why it rules us all. It rules us all because we will not summon it. Isn't it funny how it works that way? Yeah, it rules it all because we will not summon it. We will not use our Ring of Solomon to summon that bitch. And so what does it do? It grows. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's not what we want instead. It's not. Babylon is not what we want. Babylon is what we take. It's what we need. It's what we settle for. It's what the addiction fills our holes because we have no will of our own. We're simply taking it. Yeah, whatever. And that if we were to be talking to it, if we were to be talking to animism, like physically interacting with it, that what if we were to discover that Babylon was helping us? What if we were to discover that Babylon would turn into Babylon, this blessed virgin that we keep corrupting? that Babylon would start to help us, that we would end up like Lemurians, right? Lemurians. Thank you so much, Jason Day. I look forward to seeing you. Happy Apocalypse. See you soon. See you soon, Jason. Big plans coming up. Jason's on his way. Landscape committee is go. Dilation committee is go. Guys, you are awakening. The land is awakening. Tomorrow is the third new moon since we've started this. Saturday is our new moon ceremony here. If you can make it, BrentSchineman@gmail.com. BrentScheneman@gmail.com. Let him know. We'd love to have you. You will see it. You will see this land come to life because you're not afraid. You're not afraid of it. You summon it. Sulamei. Solomon. And it's all the same religion, guys. It's all the same religion. Stop saying it's not. Stop saying it's not. Christianity has Satan. Islam has Shaitan. Guys, Solomon, Sulamei. Satan, Shaitan. Stop pretending you each believe different things. You don't. The syncretism is knocking on the door. There's nothing wrong with it. Doesn't mean you're wrong. It means you're right. I'm looking forward to meeting you too, Beastmaster. Really look forward to the talk. We'll be talking about the IRA. We'll be talking about some of these things. But even if your aperture is open, which the IRA talks about, you are not going to see it unless you understand that it's even something summonable. And that's the blindness that's stopping us, is this animism. It's stopping us from seeing that. We're afraid of the animal spirit. We're afraid of it. When we have a wild encounter with an animal, that's a intrinsic alchemical experience. And most of us don't get that. Most of the wild animals you see, it'll be a bear will come into the suburbs. It's no big deal, right? Something will come into your territory. It's no big deal. We can handle that. Our aperture can handle that. That's why we build civilization, because it's on our terms. It's on our turf. But some of you, like me, have had the opportunity where you've been able to meet a wild animal. You've been able to see it in its environment, and it completely changes you. It changes you because that threat that you pose to them, you are empathically feeling, and it alchemically changes you. It changes your system. There was a cougar. Did anybody see this cougar, like a mountain lion video? It's this mountain lion video that came out this weekend people were talking about. Or for like 6 minutes, this guy's being chased by the mountain lion. Did you guys see that? It was amazing because you're watching this in real time. You're watching this in real time. Synchronism could be a trap. I don't think it's going to be possible for syncretism to be a trap, Rand. Here's the reason why. Is because I'm saying that you have to look at syncretism in the long end. That the entire system has been full of lies because it knows that syncretism will be born if it puts out enough lies. It will. Because if you put out enough lies and make everything awful, people will want truth. It will be the only thing that unites us under truth is just the sheer amount of lies. Yes, you guys did see that. It was amazing, right? And the guy was experiencing that. I think actually I've got a clip. Let's play it.
A good little Kit Kat. Go away. Big and scary. Holy oh. Oh. Go away. Oh, sh. Oh, sh. Oh.
I'm very well established.
No! Get the Kuwait! Get the Kuwait! Holy sh. Go get your babies.
They're at college.
Not coming back down, I promise. Go! Go! No! No! Go away! Go away! Please go away! Babies and a MILF right there. You're freaking scary, kitty cat.
Sorry about that. Thanks, Analog Bear. It's hilarious, right? But seriously, the our fear of animals, of animism, is creating the vector that Babylon has that it can just run on its own. There's no it's no different than working in a riding lawnmower factory, and the lawnmowers are coming out, and the employees are just you test them, you turn them on to make sure it works, right? And they just don't turn them off. And that you're buying a lawnmower that's already running, and you take it home, it doesn't have a steering wheel, and you put it down, it's just going to go in a certain direction. That without animism, without us believing that these systems are alive, that our cities, our Babylons, our streams, our streets, our cities, our towns, our buildings, that all those are living their own life without reins, without a bit in their mouth, without a rider, a pilot to direct them. And there's no better pilot for animism than you. There's no better pilot for it than you. And none of us are driving it because we don't even believe it's real. We don't even accept that animism is even true. And so I'd like you to picture that the world is full of wild horses, and they have reins. They have reins. They're dangling behind the horse as the horse runs. And because we do not have this animism, we don't have the tangible fingers to grab these things. We don't have the system in place that we need to steer course, to change that vector. It's so easy with the Ring of Solomon, with personification. And it's all right there. Babylon is so big that you and I can't even run across one of its blood vessels without being killed. That's how big it is. And this spirit of Babylon isn't just something we talk about. It's not just a tendency. It's not just a personification. It's real. It's real, but we use words like coincidence. We use words like personification to try and make ourselves feel better, to try and make us accept it and be like, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. And it's better than okay. Because the world would not be nearly as beautiful if it wasn't for animism. That's right, Josh W. Earth is Babylon. She's a living, breathing goddess. And we can love Gaia and we can hate Babylon, but we're loving and hating the same person. This is why I told you guys, Prana's the same. That other douche Josh who was giving me shit, it's the same. His shit is the same. It's the same as loving Gaia and hating Babylon. It's the same creature. And Babylon, Babylon, is the whore requited. Not unrequited, requited. It's the whore horde. And that Isis herself, what's beautiful about Isis is that it's this never-ending virgin. Isis is. And what we call the Holy Virgin Mary. When you look at iPad Goat 2 and you see that scene of La Pieta where Mother Mary has her son Jesus, that Isis is the breaking of her hymen. It's the bursting of her virginity. And you see that symbolism everywhere. That we build Isis up. We take the spirit of the Holy Virgin and we lift her up to do nothing but decrepitate her. Okay, that really reaching there in that word. To defile her. And we can defile her because we don't believe that it's true. So it just happens, it just happens, it just happens, it just happens, it just happens. Right? And it'll keep happening until we start to see the animism. There's no difference, OIC, between a belief or a known. I think that what throws you off, guys, is that you're under the impression that knowledge is somehow better than belief. Guys, knowledge is petrified belief. That's all it is. It's petrified belief. It's the most globalistic thing you could do. is believe in a universal logos where everyone has to accept and see, recognize, and have the same thing. And the beauty of Hinduism, believe it or not, Hinduism saves the fucking day here, because Hinduism is the only religion that I can find that believes in animism. You could argue that Quakers, you could argue that there's certain sects. You could definitely, we could talk about Native American religions, but I'm just talking about the biggies. That Hinduism still has that animism alive. It's still able to see the thriving nature around us. Nature. Humans are natural, which means what you do is nature, which means when you build blood vessels to Babylon, they're real. They're not made up. They're not personified. It's not a metaphor. It's the fucking reality. And that we're seeing a living, breathing thing. We're just afraid of it. And that's my grievance. We shouldn't be afraid. Why are we afraid? Why are we afraid? So let's have some grievances, guys. Tell me your grievances. Tell me. Someone tell me you were grieved that I was gone for so long. That would make my day. Someone tell me something's going on. Tell me how it feels. We'll get through this together. All of us will get through this together. It's grievance time, baby. All right, does anybody got any grievances? I'm going to wait for some grievances to come in. And it's beautiful. That's a great grievance. I agree. Dakotas. Damn it, it's beautiful. It's just so beautiful. I'm loving this grievance. It's great. You can believe what's behind the door, or you can open it and see. I think if you open it and see, you're still believing it. I don't think there's a difference between belief and... I think knowledge is a myth. I think belief is real. You physically imbue prana into someone when you believe it, whether it be your teddy bear. Guy is doing it right now when she's looking at me. She's imbuing prana. Thank you, baby. Her grievance... I have a grievance with Billy Joel's messaging service, James True. Yeah, oh my God. Oh, man. Oh, Shitmoth wrote the most amazing Billy Joel lyrics. Guys, we got to get this out. I need someone... I'm going to find that. I'm going to read that on the show. I don't have it right now, so I can't do it right now. But I need to read that on the show. It was... we didn't start the fire, but it's done with like Grievance of Squirrel. It's really, really funny. I would say post in the chat, but I bet it'll cut you off, Gaia. Mared Moth. I bet it would cut you off. I grieved and celebrated your absence. Aw, it's good to see you, Dogmar. I'm sick of being cash poor, says David McDonald. That's a great grievance to have. It's great. It's great. It took far too long to regain 15,000 subs. Do I have 15,000 subs? Did I get back to 15,000? That's great news. I had no idea. See what happens when I stop streaming? If I stop streaming, people are like, hey, I should sub to that guy. That'll show him. And then if he tries to stream again, I'll unsub. That'll really show him. Do I have 15,000? That's amazing. I thought that we had decided. Nope, I'm still at 14.9. You making me feel all important, and I wasn't there. It's great to be back, Jax. Thanks. Best apocalypse ever with your live streams being back. Belief is focused power. That's very true, Dakotas. Absolutely, it is. It's prana. It's, you know what it is? Belief. Vectored will. Vectored will. Yep. It's almost at 15,000. It's almost there. Hey, you guys, if you're not subscribed, subscribe. Maybe you can get me back to 15,000. That'd be great. My grievance is that I can't be there this weekend for the third New Moon Campfire. Belief's not an enemy. Oh, I'm sorry. Belief's not an enemy. If you're coming to Flattoberfest, we are arranging a New Moon Campfire ceremony for people there. I can't wait to tell you about it. It is awesome. So if you missed the campfire this weekend, but you're coming to Flattoberfest, I think that we have you situated. In fact, I just had a conversation. I can't tell you about it now, but we might have you really situated. We'll see. But the campfire things are still going. All of us need them. You guys, you don't need me for a campfire. You can do it yourself. I'd love to have you here, but you can do it yourself too. All weekend, every weekend now through October, because we got New Moon this weekend. We have Flattoberfest next weekend, and then we have Halloween, which is a blue, full, apocalyptic moon. Blue moon, full moon, apocalypse on Halloween. Off the hook. Really good stuff. You guys are going, right? You're going, right? You wouldn't miss this, right?
October 24th, 2020. Greenville, South Carolina.
That's right. Make sure you go. We are having a dojo today. We had a dojo last night. It was great. In fact, I told Catherine how to stop talking. I hope she's okay with that. Guys, some of you think that you communicate well. I mean, some of you think I don't communicate well. Catherine was saying, I don't communicate well. I'm having trouble communicating. And Catherine communicated fantastic. When she started talking, she was intelligent. She was insightful. She was communicating well. Her words were coming out. It was clear. But she lacked the ability to stop talking. And some of us have that. It's imagine yourself a motor, right? You turn your old car on and it won't cut off sometimes. You're like, why will it not shut off? Believe it or not, it doesn't have the oomph to kill the fuel. It doesn't have the energy to kill it. She doesn't have enough energy to stop talking. And the reason why we don't have enough energy to stop talking is because we are afraid of silence. And the reason why we're afraid of silence is because our core shame could be exposed. And we need that core shame. That core shame is who we are. It's who we. It's part of our core identity. We're not here to attack that shame. In fact, a lot of New Agers are like, "Oh, we have to eliminate shame." No. You need to have a better relationship to that shame, because the better core you have, the less dysphoria you're going to go through with identity or gender or whatever the fuck else it is. But all your other fields are going to have that cohesive thing to stick to, that hard surface. That shame gives you that hard shell. It's very, very important. It protects you, believe it or not. We need that shame. But we're in a society where we're supposed to shut down the borders. You need to be more meek. You need to not have an ego. That kind of stuff. That's what's fucking us up right now. That's what doesn't allow us enough calories to see through Babylon, to see the animism overall. This is what we talk about in the dojo, by the way. This kind of stuff. It's more about this kind of stuff. Thank you. Get y'all's tickets to Flattoberfest. There's the links right there. Thank you to both of you guys for posting those up. Oh, Joshua. Hey, you got a new... Is that you, my friend? Looks like it. Yep. So, 12:30 is the dojo. You can join the dojo at jtrue.com. You can join for a year, save a lot of money. Or if you just want to try it for a month, join me on Patreon. It's $19 a month for a tribe membership. It gets you all the dojos you want. You can also have backlogs where you got about 30 dojos saved that you could listen to. It's a great tribe. Looking forward to seeing that tribe this weekend. Guys, so many of you are coming in. I cannot wait to hang. It's great. In fact, 3 of you are already here. One I know is on the way today, at least one. I know that there are more that are literally driving right now as we're talking, like 2 or 3 more. I can't wait. I'm really excited about this. And the fact that my book's finished is pretty sweet, because it means I don't have the, the things. More information is coming about the book. I just haven't had a chance. I just, like when I say I finished it, I just mean the writing part was done. I have to just little admin stuff here and there, and then set up the pre-sales and stuff like that. So that'll be coming too. Yeah, if you want to send me a silver round, we'll do that too. Silver rounds in exchange for books and for dojo, either one. So hook me up, jtrue.com. You can look at my website and you'll find more information there about how to do stuff like that. Lots of potlatches come in. Holy cow, guys. So much potlatch. Thank you so much. Wow. And my crew thanks you. Our landscaping committee has been working hard on this new fire ring that I'm looking forward to showing you. And the potlatch helps that too. So thank you guys. Thank you much. Let's close this thing out. Let's see you guys in dojo. We'd love to see you there. And yeah, I'd love to see you guys Flattoberfest too. It's going to be a huge month, and we're glad that you're booked the book. Yes, I cannot wait to show you about the book. Guys, no dirty song today. Don't worry, your kids are safe, but we will play it again sometime, just not today. Thanks for watching my live stream. Thanks for being cool about me taking the time off to finish the book. I had to tell. The last 2 or 3 days, I didn't even announce I wasn't doing a live stream. When I come on and say I'm not doing a live stream, it was hurting my book, because then I would feel bad that I was like failing because I was promising to do a live stream and then I wasn't. And then the pressure of that was making the writing harder. So the last 2 days, I didn't even tell you I wasn't doing a live stream because I didn't have the electricity. Seriously, I didn't have the electricity for that. I needed that electricity for the book. It's been non-stop. Book. It's great, but man, it's hard. Writing books is hard. Finishing books is easy, but writing books is hard. Love you guys. We'll see you soon. And yeah, happy Thursday. Happy Thursday.
In a city full of sounds, I know my way around. We are of the same kind. Endangered species hard to find. I'll give you some lone time. I need to go catch the high tide, 'cause I don't feel free. So I'm letting you know where I want to be. Driving by the shore, listening to a broken radio. Skyline neon lights are waking up the rangers of the night. Designated life. Feel the cold wind on my face. It's all around but leaves no trace. This is where I wanna be. I'm skipping stones into the sea. I'll give you some lone time. I need to go catch the high tide, 'cause I don't feel free. So I'm letting you know where I want to be. Driving by the shore, listening to a broken radio. Skyline neon lights are waking up the rangers of the night. Designated life. Driving by the shore. Skyline neon lights. Designated life.
It's full of stars, I tell you. The whole place is just full of stars.